I'm Vanessa from Premier Tax Solutions. We look after about 100 hair and beauty clients, and it's me that looks after most of you, to be fair. So if there's anything that you need to know, then let us know. In this video, I'm going to talk about the difference between having somebody employed or renting a chair, the differences that it can mean for you and for them, and also some questions to think about whether it's right for you. So what's the difference? You've got somebody renting a chair and you're saying that they're self-employed, or you've got somebody here that works for you. So before I go into the differences, just wanted to draw your attention to a tool that's on the HMRC website that you can use. It's called the CESS tool, and basically that will help you to determine whether somebody is self-employed or they're employed. It will look at things like control and supervision. It's a matter of fact. So are you making people use your equipment, telling them who they can work on, what times they need to work, and all things like that? So it's really important that you check with that, but also bear in mind you should get a bit of HR advice, because they might be self-employed for tax purposes, but you need to check if there's additional rights as a worker, so it's always worth getting some advice. So first up is employed people. You can turn around and say to them how they should be doing the job, what hours they are working. You also need to give them holidays, the sick pay to think about. Also, can you fill their diary? You're obligated to give them work. So let's say they've got an employment contract for 30 hours. Can you actually fill that, or are you going to be paying for them to stand around? So when somebody's employed, they've got employee rights. You're probably going to need a payroll, and you're going to need a pension potentially, so there's additional things to think about. If somebody's self-employed, then you're not obligated to give them the work. They'll bring their own clients. They should look after their own stock. They should be filling their own diary. They're responsible for their own tax affairs. Are you going to charge them a day rate, or are you going to charge them a percentage? So it's risk versus reward. So it might be that you're taking more of a risk by taking on a self-employed person, but you could earn a lot more money that way. If people are self-employed, they'll be bringing their own equipment and using that. If they're employed, then it's down to you to provide it. So what is right for you? Let's go through some questions. Do you have enough work for an employee? So let's say you're giving them 30-hour contract. Do you have enough clients that you're going to be able to fill that to make this service profitable? With an employee, you can teach them the way that you want to do things. If you've got somebody that's self-employed coming in, you can't necessarily do that. So something to think about is, if you don't like the way that they speak to their clients, the way that they are cutting hair, for example, that could be a reflection on your salon. And so is that something that you want to risk, the fact that you can't control everything like you would with an employed member of staff? Employees carry more responsibility, so you've got to have a payroll. You might need to have a pension. What about health and safety? There's all these different things that come into play. So if somebody's employed by you, make sure that you've got the right insurance in place. So you need to be covering those as employees. But if somebody's self-employed, make sure that they've got their own public liability insurance. So I hope you found this video useful, and on the next slide I'm going to include a table of some of the things I've just gone through. Thanks for watching. If you do want to get in touch, or there's any questions you've got or some thoughts are coming to your mind, then on the next slide of the video our contact details will be there.